vinyl community. Dark Dove back with you again. Another video update. So quite a bit of stuff to show you. Very interesting stuff, but a very kind of diverse lineup of stuff, I think. Show you today. There's going to be a mixture of things I've bought on Discogs and some items which I found in charity shops. But I'll start off with my three items which I picked up last weekend well, there's a kind of a vintage fair which I go pop into now and again. There's a guy there who sells vinyl. I popped in there the other day and he's after getting quite a bit of new stuff in. Had a look through his new selection and straight away came across this. This is Robert Fripp with the League of Gentlemen. League of Gentlemen is a group which he put together in 1980. They were only active for a very short space of time. So this kind of this was released in '81 on EG. So this kind of saw him pursuing a kind of new wave post-punk kind of a direction. Kind of in some ways, kind of a forerunner to what he'd do with the newly reformed King Crimson with the Discipline album, which came out the same year as this. Mostly instrumental, but there is heavy use of sampling of found sounds and kind of spoken word segments. The cover art is by Danielle Dax of the Lemon Kittens. I think she was actually going out with Fripp at the time. I think I read that somewhere. I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyway, so it's Robert Fripp, the League of Gentlemen. I got this together with the next item. On the first day, I made my three purchases over the course of 2 days. The next item, which I picked up with this, is this. Now this is by a band called Sound, and it's called From the Lion's Mouth. Now the Sound were English post-punk bands active in the early 80s. This album is actually very, it is very hard to find. I think it was last reissued. It's been reissued. I think it was last reissued over 10 years ago, and vinyl copies are extremely hard to come across. This is an original German press. On the Korova label. Now, you could compare them kind of, they sound quite similar to Echo and the Bunnymen, or perhaps early U2. Now, this album, it got quite a lot of critical acclaim at the time, but it sold very poorly, and they never quite took off. They released a few more albums after this, but actually two of the band died in kind of tragic circumstances. The lead singer, Adrian Borland, he committed suicide in the late 90s. He jumped in front of a train, and Max Myers, who was the bass. Oh no, sorry, Max Myers on keyboards. He died of AIDS in the early '90s. So they're a band who had quite a lot of bad luck. You know, they this is an extremely good album. I mean, it's as good as anything, you know, else that came out in, you know, the kind of post-punk period. But for whatever reason, it just didn't take. They didn't sell. They didn't break through, and received a lot of critical acclaim. But this was not matched by sales. So this is actually very hard to come across. This and the Fripp, both of them for €12. Now this particular album alone, there's a single copy of it for sale. This particular pressing, this German pressing, there's a single copy for sale on Discogs for around €50. So it was seriously underpriced. So I did get this for a great price, but the guy I bought it off, generally he is quite, you know, he's not one to generally underprice stuff. You know, he usually the other way around. So I was very lucky to get this, to get the two of them for the price that I got them for. Now I went back again the following day just to have another rummage, and I found something which has long been on my want list. Now, this is an album I was actually having a discussion just a few weeks ago with Ben Costello about this particular album, about how rare it is to see it in the wild, and that is Patti Smith, Horses. Now this came out in 1975. It has that iconic cover photography by Robert Mapplethorpe. I have only ever come across one other copy of this in the wild, and that was a copy that was warped. But like the people selling it were still looking for €15 for it, so that was out of the question. It's an original British pressing on Arista, on that blue label. So yes, so again another record which is very hard to find, and I think I got it for a pretty good price. I got it for €17. You know, for an original pressing, and like there is the back sleeve is a bit shabby, but the front sleeve is fine, and the disc itself is in really good condition as well. There's no major marks or anything on it. I just needed it clean, but yeah, it's an exceptional album. It's one of the best debut albums ever by any artist, and it's the album which really kind of kicked off punk. You know, it was a seminal release. You know, the kind of New York punk movement. You know that. You know, the title. Well, actually, it's not the title track. It's called. Land. Yes, that's the one. The one that has the monologue. But yeah, it's a fantastic album, and I'm glad to finally have got it in my hands, because it's one that I've been looking out for quite a long time. Now, moving on to two Discogs purchases which I made recently. This was something which I had on my want list for quite a while, because finally one came up, which was from a seller in Europe and France, because it's all the other copies were for sale in the United States. This is a bit modern classical. This is Orchestral Space, this is featuring a performance recorded in 1966 in Tokyo by four seminal kind of avant-garde modern classical composers. Two of them are Japanese, Ichiyanagi and Takemitsu, and the other two are Xenakis, the Greek composer, and Ligeti, who was Hungarian. Now the piece of music featured here, Atmospheres, it is the same piece of music which is featured in the final segment of the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now the version this is the original version. The version that's in the movie is slightly different. It was modified, but this is an American release from 1978 on this label, Varis Saraband, but the record itself was actually manufactured in Japan. So now this is very interesting and challenging pieces of work here. There's almost kind of an element of some of the pieces here that kind of remind you of free jazz, particularly the piece by Xenakis, Strategy. So I'm getting quite well into this sort of thing lately. Modern avant-garde classical, like Stockhausen and so forth. And I love that cover as well. That's a great cover. So the other item which I got recently on Discogs is another album which again had long been on my want list, and that is another album which I think doesn't need too much of an introduction, and that is Brian Eno and David Byrne, My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Again, another release from 1981, which was quite a good year. I think you'll have to agree. I mean, when you consider the amount of incredible music that came out that year. This is an original German release, German pressing, so it has the track Quran, which is actually missing from subsequent releases because of basically kind of controversy, and it's been omitted ever since from subsequent pressings, which is unfortunate because it is an amazing track. For those of you not familiar with this, well, I'm sure there are too many of you are, but just in case there are, this was it wasn't the first album to use sampling, but it was definitely the one that kind of made a really kind of that first kind of significantly brought sampling kind of into the pop, kind of that made it kind of well known, I suppose. So there's heavy use of samples of, for instance, radio broadcasts and preachers. My personal favourite, I think, is number 4, Help Me Somebody, which uses this amazing recording of a New Orleans preacher set to a kind of Afrobeat, amazing Afrobeat and great bass line. It's an amazing track, and it's an absolutely stunning album. This is just one album which belongs in every record collection. Groundbreaking piece of work, and David Byrne and two musical geniuses coming together and producing, this amazing album. Now I'm going to move on next to some charity shop finds. So a bit of a, just move these, bit of a mixed bag. Some great stuff, some not so great stuff. I'll start with the not so great stuff. Well, I suppose it's kind of a matter of opinion really, but this is something I picked up for €1.50. It was actually sealed when I got it, so I have just played it once. I did open the seal. It's by Kevin Eubanks, who I'd never heard of him previously, but looking him up, I've looked him up online, and he had some connection with was it the Jay Leno show? Maybe yeah, I think it was Jay Leno. He was part of the orchestra, the stage band or something. But anyway, this is an album from 1984. I mean, it's technically, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the kind of the musicianship on this record, but I don't know, it just didn't do much for me. It just has this very kind of 80s, kind of typically mid 80s kind of production, and nice packaging though, but it's probably not something I'll hang on to, but it's not a bad album or anything, but just didn't really do it for me. I think it's US. Actually, it must be US pressing, because it's got a notch on it. Anyway, the other item which I picked up along with that in the same charity shop was this. This is an English folk singer by the name of Vin Gara, and this is called The Valley of Tees. And this originally came out in 1972. I think this is a later pressing. Could possibly be from the 80s, not sure, but it's pretty good. Most of it's kind of protest songs. A lot of the songs on it deal with the troubles in Northern Ireland, which were raging at the time. Vin Gara himself is half Irish. He's born in England, but he has an Irish mother. So a lot of the songs are Irish folk songs, or they have an Irish theme. But yeah, this is pretty good. I wasn't familiar with him before, but I quite enjoyed this. So that was quite an interesting find. Vin Gara. Now this is another very, very nice find. I found this in a separate charity shop. Picked it up for €1.50. I was instantly drawn to the cover. I love that cover art. This is an album which came out in 1969. It's called The Star Above the Garter, and it's a recording of an Irish traditional music session by music from Kerry, played by Dennis Murphy and Julia Clifford. These two people, from what I know about them, they were brother and sister. It's a recording that was made in 1969 and released on Claddagh Records. It's very, very good. I immensely enjoyed this. It turns out it's pretty rare. It's quite a collectible album. I just love that artwork. It's very kind of almost kind of Beatles' Yellow Submarine kind of feel to it. somebody called cover Catherine Folletaire did this artwork. So I picked this up at the same time as that. The Clancy Brothers with Tommy Macon. I actually haven't played this yet. I kind of put it aside and forgot about it. But it's quite a nice copy. It's on Tradition Records. The disc is in really nice condition. The sleeve is kind of banjaxed alright, but it's from 1961, so you know, considering like the disc is in pretty good nick, so I must give this a spin actually, because I meant to spin it and I forgot about it then and just kind of set it aside, so I must rectify that as soon as possible. I'll just quickly go through some CDs which I've picked up recently, again in charity shops. So these were all cheap finds. This is something I picked up for 50 cent. William Burroughs, Spare Ass Annie and Other Tales. This is a record he brought out with Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy in 1992. I wasn't sure about picking it up because it's very scratched, but it actually plays perfectly. So it's basically his doing spoken word readings of his work over a hip hop beat. So it's pretty interesting. This was something I was very happy to find. Future Sound of London, Life Forms, from 1994, double album. This is a classic. This is absolutely fantastic ambient album. Jape, Ritual, It's Okay. This is kind of hipster electronica. Brian Wilson's Smile, very nice find. Kate Bush, Ariel from 2005. Again, excellent find, double CD. Lamb Chop, another double CD. Two very interesting finds indeed, both from with an African theme. Rokia Traore, Boom Boy. She's a musician a singer from Mali, and this features the Kronos Quartet on this. She also features on this compilation, which is the Best of Africa Volume 2. So there's a nice selection of acts from Africa, including Fela Kuti and some lesser known stuff as well. So okay, so it's at 23 minutes now. Those CDs were all charity shop finds. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.